We got Ravi Patel on the podcast here, live from your kitchen, huh? You're just setting up shop in the kitchen?
Yeah, because I was like about to get a snack, and then I started getting into this. I was playing with this microphone. Snack never happened, and now this is where it's happening. Bro.
So we're getting like an angry, hungry guy right here.
Yeah.
What were you gonna snack on? That's important. Is it gonna be some LA shit?
Well, I was gonna throw bro. I was gonna throw There's LA shit during a pandemic.
Yeah.
Man. I am full on reverted to my 18-year-old. Like I'm making egg sandwiches, lots of cheese. I drink beer sometimes in the morning.
Nice, love it.
My poker like I'm full on relapse with poker. I mean, it's gotten bad, but I'm winning, so it's good.
Yeah, right. And you're gonna win forever.
Only a relapse if it's a problem. And yeah, nothing could go wrong with gambling your money. No problems there.
I like how you at least stopped at 18 with your where you're eating at, because I'm eating at like a 6-year-old level. Mm-hmm. This weekend I ate about 3 Charleston chews per day.
Mm-hmm. Full size?
Full size, baby. Full size.
That means your jaw, your teeth was
broken.
broken.
It was disgusting. I could hear myself. I'm eating Apple Jacks, Frosted Flakes, Charleston Chews, and peanut butter and jellies, and drinking just fucking massive glasses of milk.
That's good for you, man. You seem happy. Look at those cheeks.
Last night I went with I got the graham crackers and I had Hershey bars, full-size Hershey bars in the freezer. I didn't go as far to melt up the marshmallows, but I was basically just having chocolate graham cracker sandwiches over my sink last night and drinking straight out of the gallon of milk. I call that living, okay?
Living.
Yeah.
That's living. I mean, look, I feel like I've gotten in touch with a part of myself that I should have never said bye to, but like when you grow up, you feel all this need to grow up.
Yeah.
And I actually feel like joy of life is all that childhood stuff. I'm not even kidding. Like on a spiritual level, I was telling my wife the other day, I was like, my life now is like fun first and work and all that stuff has to fit into it.
Preach.
I think that's the way to do it.
Do you think that's going to last forever?
Well, first, that's a privilegey possibility, but I mean, I'm definitely like, we're talking about leaving LA and part of it is because I'm like, I would love to get our overhead down to 25% of what it is today. Mm-hmm. And then I would love to get into like, right now I do this, I'm in a little bit of a busy time, but like, generally speaking, I've been doing like 25-hour work weeks and getting a decent amount done. And I think that is sustainable. I'm not gonna be able to do it when I'm like shooting stuff, obviously. I mean, you can't do that forever.
Right.
But I think it's possible, man. I mean,
and you think that's because of like the pandemic, like you're thinking differently now, or like what inspired that, or you were always kind of planning on doing that?
No, I was already on the way. Yeah, I have a 3.5-year-old daughter. I've been married for, I don't know, 6 or 7 years maybe. And I was already having these thoughts of like, oh, like my whole life, I've put so much effort into trying to achieve, like wanting to do big, cool things. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what I realized is I had an unhealthy relationship with work, and like my self-esteem was kind of tied to,
oh man,
what were the things?
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about?
I absolutely feel this. I mean, I also was reading up on you, how you used to be an investment banker or something in finance.
Yeah.
And then
but that's bullshit. It was only like 4 or 5 months, and it was never going to last. Right. I honestly, I had already spent all my vacation days on going to watch Bears games every weekend.
Well, I had the same sort of thing, like a bullshit cup of coffee in the finance world before realizing like I'm not good at this. I'm never going to succeed at this. And so let me go try to do something. And I never knew if this was going to work, but I was like, but I know that's not going to work. So I got to roll the dice elsewhere. So I feel like you were kind of on that path of like, I can't do the regular bullshit life. And I feel like you're kind of seeing, it's like almost like it's happening again now at this age where it's all about life, not necessarily work.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, and that look, that too is privilege. I mean, just being able to pursue something that you actually enjoy, like where there's some purpose in it. That's like already you're beating 95%.
Big time. Yep.
But that actually also is a way of cheating the system, right? Because what you do, if you love what you work, you can kind of justify working even more all the time. And, that can be unhealthy. And it's like, I chronically, like, I put my parents and stuff, like I put my wife and stuff. I mean, the show, like that I'm here for, like everyone I love is in the show. And that's great that I did that. But then at the same time, like now I think my new goal is finding ways to be like, okay, I want to allocate real estate that has nothing to do with work. And that's what the pandemic's been. Like the other day I was sitting on the sofa for a good 10 minutes eating vanilla ice cream in the dark. And I'm a grown man. And I was just like, I didn't notice it till 10 minutes in. And I was like, and I had a moment where I'm like, no, this is great. We're good. The only thing missing is like, I wish I had cookies. And then I texted my wife. I was like, yo, can you order some cookies tomorrow morning?
I'd love to like just talk to a European and see what they think about how Americans are reacting to the pandemic in a different ways. Obviously, there are a lot of bad ways, but like two in particular that I think a lot of Americans are realizing is one, like maybe I don't have to work as much as I do. And two, outside bars are pretty good. And they're and Europeans are like, yeah, we've been doing both those forever, dude.
I'm so like flabbergasted by the outdoor bars. I'm like, wow, this is incredible. Who came up with this idea? Like other people many, many, many years ago.
Yeah, everything's just a surf lodge. You guys know what surf lodge is?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. It's great though.
Oh yeah, it's the best. Outside partying is like the best thing ever. What's been y'all's biggest like change in habit that you love? And it doesn't even have to necessarily stay after the pandemic.
I haven't set an alarm since.
Yeah. Alarm's great.
And like I've actually been waking up pretty normally still, which like is unfortunate, but I haven't been jarringly awoken since it started. It's been I wake up, and it's usually around 8:30 or so. It's not I'm not sleeping until 1 o'clock every day, but it's nice to not have like it ruined Call Me Maybe for me because that's my alarm clock.
Oh no!
And I have like
American classic.
It's like my alarm's actually.
What's Call Me Baby?
Call Me Maybe, the Carly Rae Jepsen.
Call Me Baby is the song that you wake up to?
Well, it's one of my first. So I'm smart. Where I have.
How are you?
I have a progression of alarm clocks. Like it starts off with Taylor Swift, Fearless, and it's a little slower, right? Yeah. And then kicks up to Call Me Maybe. We got a little pop, and it's a little more bounce to it. And then if I'm not up after that, it's Blockbuster Night by Run the Jewels, and that's like that's like a song you play going into war, and I usually sleep until that one.
Well, that is kind of waking up every day.
I have to do two things: either you're single, or your girlfriend is 17.
Well,
no, you're not on Chris D'Elia's podcast right now. This is KFC Radio. I am not single, but my girlfriend lives in Boston.
Yeah, so he's waking up solo, so he can do whatever the fuck he wants. Yeah,
good for you, bro. You're living your life.
Living,
she
man.
She can figure that out. She can put in earbuds if she needs to.
Yeah. Yo, I snore so bad. She's actually moving here at the end of the month.
She's a saint. No. Wait. You think?
No, my bad.
You think so? This dude is a fucking bear, man. I don't know. He makes noises that aren't even human. It's like this guttural sound. I mean, I've literally punched him in the face to try to wake him up, and he won't wake up.
Oh, dude, my friends in college, they I mean, it was miserable. I mean, like, I feel you, dude. But after a while, you just have to love yourself, and you guys,
embrace who you are.
Here's the deal. So it's funny because me and my dad are the same way. We're both just absolute monsters.
Not human.
But we handle it very differently. Like I wake up and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something. If you want me to get surgery, I'll get surgery. I apologize. I like warn people if they're sleeping in like the same house as me. I'm like, just so you know,
I do too.
I'm loud as hell and I'm sorry. And my dad's the other way. He just gets up. He's like, fucking deal with it. like he does not give a shit that he's interrupting anyone else's sleep.
Now wait. Now I'm thinking you might be worse than me. If you're in a room, let's say you're going to the lake. You guys rented a vacation house. We're talking a 7-bedroom, 7-bath 3-level situation. You're in the upper left bedroom of the house. What's the radius of this? Like, how many people are going to be disturbed? Everyone on the top floor?
Oh yeah, floors for sure. Yeah, floor, no without a doubt. Yeah, you're done if you're on the same floor as me. What I was thinking is like, what's the setup? Like, is it a loft type setup? Is there a window into the living room kind of deal? Like, because then I'm roaring the whole house.
The blast radius is insane. I mean, it reaches, the shock waves will reach, far and wide.
I got a sleep apnea test when I was like 20, and the doctors were like, "There's nothing wrong with you, but we can't believe it." Like, we don't understand, but you're healthy, I guess.
Well, maybe you're like, this is like your X-Men. It's just like the most useless superpower of all time.
I need like a snore off between you two, though. Can you like set up a camera late at night and we'll just listen to you snore and we'll compare?
I think he wins.
Yeah. Ravi just really want to set up a camera in his bedroom for us.
I'm not checking out schematics going into a vacation.
But I'll rent my own house. If I know what that is, like an open floor plan, I'll get my own place.
Amazing. I have a question. So I was listening to an episode that y'all did. By the way, I love you guys.
Oh, thank you. It's very rare that we actually have a guest who really truly listens to us.
I was listening to an episode of you guys, and one of you, I can't always tell the difference between y'all's voices when I'm listening, and one of you was doing a promo for one of those boxer companies that's like sell clothes on Facebook, okay? Mm-hmm. And these podcast ads, they're always like super organic. You tell a personal story. You don't know you're in a commercial until like you're like, oh wait, and so one of y'all was talking about how like I ran out of boxers, and these guys mailed me new boxers. Yeah. But then the story kept going, and you're like, 2 weeks later, I ran out of boxers, and I couldn't even like pay attention for like 5 minutes because it was never revisited. And I'm like, are they going to discuss that this dude just ran out of boxers twice in a month? Is he not doing laundry?
Yeah, I'm not doing laundry. I'll tell you why. My fucking dryer's broken, and I'm not trying to go to the wash and fold. Okay. And when I first ran out, a gift from the heavens fell to my lap, and so I figured let's ride that wave until it ends. I don't know. And then it happened the second time. I was like, maybe this is just a new thing where the universe is going to grant me free boxes every time I need them.
That was a true story. That wasn't like first brand integration.
No, that happened. I mean, I have since done some laundry, but there really was 2 times in a row that I ran out, and there was Mac Weldon just landed on my doorstep. I was like, wow, this is the universe is finally giving me something good. I can't believe it.
What's been the worst chore that you've had to do? Like you never really did, but you started doing during the pandemic. Like I've started doing laundry because my wash and fold was closed forever, and it's awful. Kevin was tweeting about it this weekend as well, how bad his laundry is.
I think
there
laundry
anything
is the
that
worst
like
chore period
you've had to start doing?
So you have a girlfriend, but you live alone?
I don't. I have roommates. I live alone right now. They're not here, but yes, I have roommates.
Okay, and what about you?
I'm divorced.
You're divorced and you live alone?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So your life is probably the easiest / hardest because you're alone. You can do whatever you want, but then also you don't have any help doing stuff.
Yeah. It's like it's I wear many hats, but it's like when I'm in like single guy mode, pretty easy, living by myself, don't really don't care about anything. And then a few days a week, I have to have little humans live with me because I'm a dad, and it's like then all of a sudden the single dad lifestyle and apartment. Like, you reap what you sow. All of a sudden, I'm like, well, I'm not equipped to have these little humans here. I don't even have underwear, man. So it goes back and forth.
How many kids do you have? How old are they?
I got 2. I got a daughter who's 4.5, and I got a son who just turned 3.
Oh, dude, congrats.
Yeah, it's a trip. Your daughter's 3.5?
No wonder it ended. That's a close in age situation.
Yeah, it was. Listen, no joke aside, we probably had some things we should have worked on, and we just went pedal to the metal with kids, and there was just no working on us at that period of time. Oh. So, but yeah, this weekend I was playing The Floor is Lava with my kids, where we were just running all around the apartment, and you had to step on pillows instead of the floor, and it was like, because they're old enough now that they're fun. You know what I mean? I was like playing with them, and I was like, this is pretty fucking cool. And Keegan, my son, we had mega stuff Oreos, not even double stuff, mega stuff. He undoes it, he unscrews it, and then he takes off the whole cream, and he just popped the cream in his mouth, and I was like, "That's my son.
See,
that's my son."
I got a take.
Yeah, I hate you for this, and we might break up over this. Listen to this stupid take, Ravi.
I think the double stuff is too much stuffing now. As a kid, I loved
What
it.
a fucking asshole
I'm
he
a
is.
single stuff guy.
Don't you agree with him, or I'll kick you right off this fucking show. Single stuff? You're gonna go single stuff?
Well, I think, buddy, I think it depends on your values around the stuff. I mean, some people are like the cookie more than the
Who?
stuff.
Who?
They're equal opportunity.
No way. The cookie is far inferior to the cream. Without the
You
cream,
might-
there is
that
no
might be
Oreo.
like a subconscious white supremacy.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. More white, more white, less black. I need 2 whites for every 1 black. Load up with the white.
By the way, I wasn't trying to avoid your question. I was just trying to see like what I could say that you guys.
I don't even remember the question, so you're fine.
My
Don't
wife
worry.
and I thought, you just asked me what I've been doing. Like, my wife and I have joked that the divorce setup with kids is actually the better business model.
Honestly,
You get half your days off, right? That's better than a teacher's work year, right? Like you get,
if you can have an amicable divorce, like I have, I harbor a lot of guilt. We don't have to get into all that, but so when I'm not with my kids, sometimes I'm like, oh man, I should be there. But if you can do it in a peaceful way, it's not only like it's the only setup. Like there's a reason why young parents, new parents, go fucking insane because you're losing sleep and you're not doing well at work and you're not seeing your friend. It's not healthy. It's not normal. If you can just have all right, I go balls to the wall with my kids. I'm in dad mode for whatever period of time. And then I get to go be an adult human. I get to date, hang out, see people, party a little bit, focus on work. I can't believe we don't come up with a better system. You should be able to do that when you're not divorced, but it feels like, I just remember when I was married, it was like when it was like her turn and she was on duty, so was I. If I was just like, all right, have fun with the kids, I'm going out for a little bit, it was like, no, you're fucking not. But it should be that way because I think everyone would keep their sanity a little more.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, we actually touch on this. We do an episode of my show with my wife and I that's specifically about parenting. And one of the things we discovered was that, like, you're completely right with what you're talking about. Our parents, they didn't parent the way we parent. Like, the amount of attention that we give kids, the amount of pressure we feel to be great parents is so much. Like, my parents, they just didn't want me to die. They didn't, like.
Keep them breathing.
They were great. All they did, they gave me love.
Mm-hmm.
They were very loving. But, like, they weren't paying attention to every second of my day. They weren't paying attention to every decision, every way they spoke to me. And so we have this kind of unsustainable expectation on parents, just in the amount of time we're supposed to spend with our kids, the amount of attention we're supposed to give them. It's not even necessarily good for them. Because when you give kids that much attention, they end up not being as gritty. They're not as tough.
And can't do anything
and
on
they
their
don't
own.
have the imagination. Robin Williams became Robin Williams because his parents didn't hang out with him, and he sat in an attic the whole night playing with toys. That's where he got all his voices and everything.
Came up with the genie.
100%.
If Robin Williams grew up today, we wouldn't get Robin Williams.
You know what? That's it. I'm going to start neglecting my kids right fucking now. You better be an animated hero one day, pal.
No, there's studies that support what you're saying about the creativity thing.
Really?
Yeah, independence really fosters that stuff. And another thing that's really different is back in the day, there was a stronger sense of community, and communities were more in charge of the kids.
Everybody, takes a village. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And if you look at like immigrant communities, like we live across the street from a park in LA, and you'll see these, like Latino, like giant families, they come, and the kids are just running around within that. Indian families are like that too. Okay. And so we would never do that now. That's just not how it is. You kind of keep an eye on your kids. Everyone. I mean, there's a little bit of that when we're with close friends, but for the most part, we're playing one-on-one. There's not a lot of zone D.
I know. Yep. It makes all the difference. I mean, even like I always, it's my breaking point as a dad, but I'll spin it for the imagination thing here. I always say, go have quiet time. Go do quiet time. And I did that the other day, and I went to check on him. And my daughter said, I'm working on my moves. She was doing a dance routine. And Keegan had built himself like a little fort. And I was like, fuck yeah, kids. Like, you don't even need me. Let's go. But had I been sitting there micromanaging and checking on them and all that, then nothing would have happened,
This is a fun age for them, though, huh, man?
Yeah, they're very funny, and like the shit they say, and like, so I had a moment the other day where I had like a meltdown as a dad. I got so my daughter has been going, and let me get your opinion on this. I live kind of on the border of a ritzy town, and I'm on the wrong side of the tracks. But some of the parents and the families that my kids know are pretty wealthy, so they're going to a tennis camp.
Where are you, Boston? Were you Newton or something? Where are you in Boston?
No, I'm in New York. I live in Mount Vernon. They live in Bronxville. So it's like one of the richest towns and one of the not so richest towns.
Yeah.
And this kid is going to tennis camp, which I think is a little early for 4-year-olds, but whatever. It's $300 a day. Okay.
Oh, gee.
And they are paying for it. So my first question is like, I'm just going to let that happen. I ordinarily would be the type like, I'll get the bill. I got to contribute. I don't really give a shit about tennis camp, and I think I'm just gonna let these people keep paying for my kids. Okay, as long as we're on board with that. Okay, and then so we've been packing a snack for Shay, my daughter, and she says, "Mommy, can you put them in the bags that I can see through? Because I can't open my snacks." She's just been going to camp, and she's unable to open the fucking bag, and these goddamn camp counselors aren't helping her. She said her friends had to help her open up her bag.
You gotta teach her to bite.
That's what. Is it my fault? Is it their fault?
Yeah,
I'm like,
I feel like 4. That's right around the time you gotta learn to bite that shit open.
Just eat through the wrapper, Shay.
I feel like if you can't open a bag, that tennis game is not gonna go right.
She hates it. I said, what do you do at the camp? She goes, we hit the ball. I was like, yeah, it doesn't sound like tennis is for you, girl. Let's get back to doing your moves. Let's get back to dancing. But I had this feeling of like, all of a sudden the next 15 years flashed through my mind of like, what else is she not going to be able to do? What else is she not going to be able to learn? What else is she going to need help with? I went crazy. And then I had to get back to what you were saying of like, just let them be and they'll learn. They'll figure it out.
Dude, I think that's totally natural. I mean, like, it's hard not to watch the behavior and, most of the times I think most parents are impressed. Like, we all think our kids are geniuses. You're like, how did they? But then other times you're like, oh, wait. Is she dumb?
Definitely.
Oh, no.
I got the dumb kid. Shit.
I'll be honest. I'm not one of those people. Like, I do not want her to be like an Ivy League level. I don't care for Ivy League people. I think they're kind of the worst. And so I don't want her. Like, I want her to just be really nice and love
normal. Yeah.
And I want her to be normal and I want her to be tough. That's all. If she can do that, then we're good.
I had thoughts of like by my son's age, Tiger Woods was like, driving the ball 190 yards. I was thinking, his father had him with a golf club in his hand, learning and reading up on the game. And I'm like, my kid's still shitting his pants the other day. We're still working on potty training. And I was thinking, like, I guess they're at that point where I should really, if they're going to be something special, now would be the time to, like, start. And I was like, I think I want them to just be normal and have, like, a normal life and a normal job and not go crazy over, careers and athletics and all that shit.
Oh, totally, dude. I totally agree. And by the way, if you have any doubt about that, watch any of those documentaries on child prodigies. Like, my buddy made a great one about prodigy, like child prodigy, like golfers. Called The Short Game. Like, their lives are so, or even watch any of the documentary on the spelling bee kids.
Oh, yeah.
Any of the pageant ones. Like,
right.
That's not how you want your kid. I think all you need to do is figure out ways to get your kid, like, teach your kid, figure out ways to put them in an environment where they can experience the idea of flow, right? Mm-hmm. Like, where they get in the zone on stuff because they're bored and then they start doing something. And then also, I think the other thing is, I want to teach my kid the process of getting great at things. Because if you learn what it's like to work hard at something and get good at it, like, that to me is a skill set that's more important than being really good at math or really good at like just knowing that, like, if you work at something, understanding that emotional fulfillment of working hard and breaking through the tough moments, the fulfillment, like, that to me, like, that's a tool for life.
Yeah, you can apply that to anything, whatever it is that you're achieving, that feeling now.
Yeah.
I'm with you, man.
Now, is that one of life's universal questions that you explore on Ravi Patel's Pursuit of Happiness? Like, how to raise children?
Thank you. That's great hosting, bro. Yeah, we have an episode. So for everyone who's listening, I have a show coming out on HBO Max, August 27th. It's called Ravi Patel's Pursuit of Happiness. And basically every episode, I travel around the world with someone in my life, and we have like a big question. And that's kind of the thing that takes us through some international destination. First of all, I came up with the idea because I just wanted to travel with
you son of a bitch.
Yeah. I didn't want to be alone.
I'm gonna come up. Ravi Patel's Pursuit of Happiness on Caribbean beaches, drinking, fancy drinks and eating filet mignon. That's my idea for a show.
Well, I was like, you know what, man? I've been on so many canceled shows, and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna come up with a version of a show that, like, even when it gets canceled, I'll still say it was the best thing ever.
Right.
And so that was, and also, like, you get it, like, you're a parent. Like, I was like, I don't want to spend so long away from my family. So it all kind of worked out, but it ended up being more fulfilling to me that way. But yeah, we do an episode. I do an episode in Mexico in one of the like hottest retirement destinations, and I took my parents there. And that one we explored retirement and aging. I went to Japan, which is like pretty notorious for doing everything amazing in their own unique way.
Yeah.
And so we explored their parenting techniques, and I went there with my wife, and that's about parenting, but ultimately that's also about marriage. I went to Denmark, which is generally known as the happiest place in the world, except for how they treat their immigrants. So I went there with one of my buddies, who's a former journalist for Vice. He's Muslim, and we kind of had a great conversation about immigrants, intersectionality, and race identity. And then I did another episode with one of my buddies who is an entrepreneur like myself, and we both have issues with work-life balance, which we already discussed.
Yep.
So we went to Seoul, South Korea, which as a country has a real like work-life problem. Like people are not just workaholics, but like suicide rates are really high,
right?
And they're having to like get involved in sushi. So Matt and I went there together to have the conversations that you and I were just having, 15 minutes ago.
Right. Well, where was your favorite spot? Where'd you feel you got the most enlightened, I guess?
To be honest, all four is going to sound really lame, but like, the way I went about picking which episodes to do is I kind of just picked the things that I was most actively actually dealing with in my life. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like neurotic or, I mean, maybe I am a little neurotic, but like, like I'm kind of actively in like a very optimistic form of an existential crisis. Like it's not a crisis. Like I'm very happy, but I love like kind of tackling these big questions. I'm a big therapy dude. So I was already kind of figuring out like when I became a dad, it really reframed how I looked at my own dad. It was like really the first time that I truly understood, like you are obsessed with me and you should be obsessed with me. And because I'm obsessed with my kid, and it made me realize like, I don't know, like how much I take those relationships for granted. And
I remember thinking like how much my parents were both always at all my shit, all my sporting events, and they were involved in everything. And it's like, that's hard. When people say like it's a job of relationships or with your kids, like it's the hardest job in the world. It is, and you have to treat it like a job where it's like you have to identify like a goal and work at it and make it happen the same way you would in an office space. You're doing it at home, but it really is something that I definitely took that for granted where I was like, oh, you were working at me, working hard on me.
Yeah. And just the amount of time that, they spent with us and the amount of time they spent. I mean, I've felt this as a dad where I'm just sitting there in her room with her in some random time in the night and it's complete silence. And all I'm doing is watching her. You can't do anything else really. And I'm thinking about her and her future and our future. And I realized, my parents did that with me for, I'm 41. My parents have done that for 41 years. And there's this unfortunate thing, which I think is really, it's very specific to Western, like American culture, which is the older we get, the more we spend apart, like physically. Like we live in different places now. We often will live in different sides of the country. We don't really see each other as much. And I was just thinking, I was like, man, if that's my future with my daughter, that would destroy me.
Right.
And so, like that episode was like a great example of something where I'm really at this point with my parents where I'm like reinvigorated and figuring out a way to. I'm also reminded, like now that I'm at this age, of my mortality and their mortality. We have limited time together. And so it's not just about gratefulness. It's also about like, I want to make the most of the time that we have together. So now we're talking about, by the way, moving back to the East Coast. Like we're going to go on like this road trip, like go look at like Raleigh, Durham, like Chapel Hill, which I went to school in Chapel Hill. We're going to go look at Nashville. I think Nashville's probably the front runner. Probably look at Asheville.
To live or to move there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Dude,
Nashville's dope.
That's pretty tight.
Yeah.
I hate the Strip, or I hate Broadway now, but like I have friends in Nashville who are kind of just like, oh, we'll go to these random bars, and Nashville's
pop the top off, Ravi. Just take it off, babe.
Oh, brush. This convo's getting hot.
You know what? It really is, though. I mean, I like the show because it's like, this is the kind of shit that, gets me going. Like these kind of questions and these kind of discussions are like, that's what it's about. I mean, The Pursuit of Happiness is a great title. I mean, obviously it's a very well-known phrase, but like, I mean, really at the end of the day, that's what it's about, right? That's what everybody's trying to do. So many people are basically failing at it, to be honest, because it's a hard thing to do. Balance work, balance life, balance fun, balance,
The balance work. You should have taken, I'm sure you did this all. I know you did this all before The Last Dance came out, but you should have just shown the people of Soul, like Dennis Rodman. And you're like, this is what work-life balance is. This guy was like, what was the thing? I was like, when Dennis Rodman was off the clock, he was off the clock.
Clock.
That dude is a model citizen.
Yo, we've interviewed him twice.
What I forgot is how hot Carmen Electra was.
Oh, still. And you know what the best thing about her is she looks.
Are you allowed to talk about someone being hot? Is that even allowed?
Yeah, I think Carmen Electra's she's grandfathered into it.
Yeah.
But the hottest thing about Carmen Electra is she. Well, I don't know. Let's say she's 45, whatever she is. She looks 45,
but she's still hot.
She's just still really hot.
She's not trying to maintain she's 21-year-old.
Yeah, it's not like she looks like what she did.
Is she married? This is what I've always wondered about, like people who stay in the game. Yeah, look, I'm 41. I have tons of friends, like dudes. Especially in LA and New York, you have tons of dudes who just won't retire from the single game.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They're like, I don't know. I'm just gonna make a football. Steve DeBerg. It's like they just keep.
They don't know when to let go, though. They don't know when to let go.
They just keep. I mean, T.O.'s still trying to get back in the game.
Yep.
Anyway, so like, I've always wondered, like what is she? Is she still?
She's single, man. I'm just looking at it now. The last guy she dated was Dave Navarro. Broke up in 08. And
that's a signal that you're still playing and that you're still in your prime.
Yeah, right. Yeah. What is she up to now?
Still like table service.
Put her acting career on pause, aka like no one's really giving you any gigs. She's probably just crushing it on social media and shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's the beauty of. I guess the good thing and the bad thing about society, because you're gonna get people who probably should just go away at some point, never will because of social media. But someone like Carmen Electra, who I want to see until the day she's gone, we can always see her now. You know what I mean? There's no hiding anymore. So she's doing charities and shit. She's great. Carmen, hit me up, girl. We're both single. Let's go.
I don't want to do an episode about this, by the way, at some point, because I think this idea of like I'm not sure that marriage is supposed to last as long as we make it last. I'm not sure that I'm sure you guys have talked about this before, but like,
we have kicked around the idea of opt-outs.
Talk to me about an opt-out.
Yeah, like so you start a relationship and you almost have like a contract where it says like you pick the date, 3 years in, 5 years in, 7 years in, whatever, where we can kind of evaluate like it's like a mutual option. We both have to exercise our option to stick in. And if you don't want to, there's no hard feelings. There can't be any. And if we both opt in, then we're both happy and we have another 3 years or whatever. I think that the idea of maybe some expiration dates could change relationships.
You know what? I think that's very wise of you. There actually was an article in New York Times that got passed around a lot, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. It's exactly that. This couple that every year has a contract that they both renew and revisit.
Mm-hmm. And I bet you it's like the Hall Pass. You ever see that silly movie, The Hall Pass, where if you give
great movie.
But the notion of the Hall Pass.
Owen Wilson. Who else is in that? Ed Helms, right?
I want to say Sudeikis. Is he in there?
Sudeikis.
but none of them use the hall pass. Their wives are like, yeah, go ahead, we'll let you, and they're like, no, you know what? I love you. I don't want to sleep around with anybody else. I think the same thing will be like, you can opt out of this relationship, and I bet just having that freedom, but you don't feel trapped and shit, I bet you'd stay and be happy, and it would be like the best relationship ever.
Would you guys if you guys were in a marriage right now, would you use the hall pass?
No. That's a trick.
It's a trap.
I'll never fall.
It is a trap, yeah. Like
I 100% would use the hall pass.
But you know that it's not really a pass. You know that you're going to get shit afterwards.
No. I agree with you because we've discussed the concept of I think every relationship starts the same way, which is the man and the woman talking about all these other things they can do. That's like their relationship, and then you're a year into the marriage, and all of a sudden you're the only one who wants to do those things. So, I get that. But if there was an actual, like if there's a lie detector test and my wife was like, I seriously will not care.
Right.
Because I know that I could go do that thing and I would come back and be the same. Yeah. Like it wouldn't, the only reason I'm against doing it is because my wife is my best friend and it
would hurt her.
I don't screw over my best friend. I'm just loyal.
Right.
But it's not because I think sex with another person is like a bad thing.
It's not inherently a bad thing.
The stupid, what's that?
It's like, it's not an inherently bad thing. It's because of, I think you were about to just say you're kind of trapped inside of this idea of monogamy. It's like we made it into this thing that I don't think it's, it like puts too much pressure on people in a way that I think if you came up with some ridiculous rules to get around it, I think people would be a lot happier.
But listen, I have tons of friends in LA and New York who have who have experimented with different business models. Obviously, LA, New York, first of all, a lot of people cheat. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, there's a lot of people who are trying, like, especially lately, I think there's like been a real explosion in the last 5 years, or maybe it's just me just knowing about it for the first time. But like people are trying this open relationship thing. I've not heard of it going well once.
No. I know one girl, she calls my radio show frequently. She's a male woman, and her husband go to swingers parties all the time, and they just like fuck a bunch of people, and they are the happiest couple I know. It's crazy. They're like, every time she's like, yeah, it's the best. It's like we're just as happy as can be. But they're on the same page, that's why. And he's cool, like he like watches her and he dabbles, and they have certain rules, and they're happy.
Well, think about it. Like, think about your best dude friends. Okay, like if you're really like my relationships with my guy friends, I don't want to say they're deeper than my relationship with my wife, but they have gone. My best friends, I've been friends with since I was like middle school, high school. My best friends. Okay, right. So we're deeply in love as you can be. Me and these dudes. And by the way, I don't know about y'all. We tell each other we love each other.
I was gonna say, do you tell them?
I mean, obviously it happens more when we're fucked up, but like, yeah, like I think the older you get, the more you're like, oh, we're so lucky that we have each other. We love each other. But if I went to, there's not a situation that I wouldn't be in with my best dude friends, and the one you just described being one of them, where I wouldn't be just cheering them on.
Right.
I will say I do on rare occasions get jealous when I find out they're hanging out with other dudes behind my back. Like, yes, maybe that does. But for the most part, I don't know. I think actually that last part made the whole thing fall apart.
It's like, I'm not into the open relationship.
I totally got it.
I love it though, man. This is the stuff I hope we can see more of with the Pursuit of Happiness, because these are the kind of questions. It's like a podcast. It's like what you're doing is very podcast-esque, where you're exploring weird, concepts and different cultures and conversations and shit. So I hope to see a lot more of it. It's you seem like it's a good fit for like who you are.
Thanks, dude. I really appreciate you saying that, man, and appreciate y'all helping me get the word out.
You got it, man.
I've never wanted something to work this badly.
Yeah, I hear you. I get it. So we'll do our part and try to get it out there, because I want to see it succeed as well. It's Ravi Patel's Pursuit of Happiness. Is on HBO Max. Comes out August 27th, right?
That's right.
All right, man. So everybody go watch it, and make sure you tell your dudes that you love them, and make sure you work on things with your wife, and I think also neglect your kids was the message.
And pursue an open relationship.
Yeah. There you go.
Work less.
Nap. Get fucked up, I think was in there. That was
drink
the
beer in the morning.
Right.
We had a lot going on.
We touched them all, dude. Thanks a lot, bro.
Thank you so much.
We really
Robbie,
appreciate it, dude.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Love you guys.
Love you
Love
too,
you
bud.
too, Robbie.